everyone. My topic is there is nothing more stimulating than when everything goes wrong or why making mistakes is useful. So today we're discussing mistakes, and all of us are told that there is nothing so scary, so terrible in making mistakes, that all of us are human and all of us are prone to be mistaken in something. And we still think that it's like so scary and inevitable. Let's find out why is it like this. Oh, so let's discuss why are people afraid to make mistakes and admit their mistakes. One of the main statements, it depends on our character, lability and rigidity of human character. Labil people tend to take their mistakes easily, tend to switch between their emotional states and switch circumstances, partners, and so on, easily and quickly admit their mistakes. But rigid people, in their turn, is vice versa. They tend to hyperfixate on their emotional state and tend to mold the same situation over and over again till they're not satisfied. And it's not really pleasant, but that's just two objectives of how we take and admit our mistakes. Another reason of being afraid of making mistakes is fear of public condemnation. We simply can't think that all other people will think that we are not ideal, and it is actually a really important issue. The next and the last reason is self-condemnation. Every mistake we make is perceived by us as an entire failure, and all of us are really afraid and can't admit all of our mistakes. And it's really important issue. So how to deal with the fear of making mistakes? Here are three main ways I have identified presented. First of all, we need to realize that fear of making mistakes is only in our heads, and all the other people don't really care about our mistakes. They actually will forget about our mistakes in a couple of days. That may sound a bit selfish, but actually no one will care about our mistakes. So another way of dealing with the fear of mistakes is to understand that mistakes are our growth points and not failures. Making mistakes is about getting experience. That's what it is about. And the last way is to realize that each of us is afraid to make mistakes. Yes, not everyone shows it, but everyone is afraid to make a mistake. More or less, but all of us are. I guess that's what the phrase all of us are human and all of us tend to make mistakes is about. So, how to make fewer mistakes? Here is the table which presents the main ways to make fewer mistakes. I like to say that most of our mistakes are made because of simple, trivial inattention. Yes, the solution is quite trivial. Even when doing mundane tasks, you need to pay attention even to the little and unimportant details. Another problem I have identified is lack of facts which result into illogical conclusions. All the facts, all our conclusions should be based on logic, and there should be a lot of facts to make a conclusion. Another quite common and important problem is that all of us wear rose-colored glasses, and we need to be objective and quite unprejudiced to make an objective verdict and use different thinking strategies such as positive thinking and protective pessimism. I say that because it is mostly it is way better to work out several worst-case scenarios than think that all the problems will work themselves out and everything will be all right by itself. It can't be. And the last problem I have, last but not least, is our attempts to handle many tasks at once. It is impossible. It is quite a trivial solution once again, but the less, the more situations we tackle, the more problems we get, the more tasks we get, the less concentration of our attention is there. So to avoid the number of missteps, you need to do the one thing at once. In conclusion, I would like to say that all of us need to remember that mistakes are our growth points, and making mistakes is about gaining experience. But making and admitting your mistakes is about acknowledging your true self.